Hi everyone, we're live here in the Weather Center alongside Griffin, Hardy, and Perella Lewis. We're watching a tornado warning that was just issued.
Still need you to stay in shelter if you're in Princeton. I think that's the most immediate concern right now is if you're in Princeton, if you live east down Highway 76 or near Highway 25, stay in your shelters. But the most dangerous part of the storm is in far southern Greenville County, western Lawrence County, the northern tip of Abbeville County, and eastern Anderson County.
That's right, Chris. It was a long night, and it just came in at just the worst possible time. It was around 2 to 2:30 in the morning where we had the worst of the weather come through Anderson County and here in Lawrence County.
We are expecting to hear from Georgia Governor Brian Kemp in just a moment, but first the latest on what's happening now across our area. Before the storm has even arrived, we already have some widespread flooding issues. It's still in the process of strengthening, likely to become a Category 3 hurricane before it makes landfall tonight in northwestern Florida, then curving towards the northwest through Georgia. And because we're going to be in that right front quadrant, we're going to get probably the brunt end of the impacts from this. It's not too late to make sure that you have your emergency supply kit ready to go. Make sure you have your prescriptions topped off, you have enough fuel in your car, some extra cash wouldn't hurt. The absolute worst of the weather, that's going to be happening still at around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That is the time you, regardless of where you are in your area, don't go out unless you absolutely have to. We're talking if it's a medical emergency, then maybe go out on the roads. But if you can at all help it, try not to drive early tomorrow morning because it's going to be dicey, folks.
Many businesses across Henderson County were heavily impacted by Hurricane Helene. But as they begin to pick up the pieces and put everything back together, one local bed and breakfast owner says they're open for business.
They're saying, yes, please come. It's actually how you can help.
People here are very resilient, and this land is very resilient. So I expect things to recover quickly.
Let's talk about that study that came out on Monday from the National Academy of Sciences. They cite climate change as the main reason why they're arguing in support of an additional Category 6 to the Saffir-Simpson scale that we measure. However, many meteorologists, including myself, disagree with this idea. And there's two main problems that come with this idea. The number one problem is perception. Anytime that we have a threat as human beings, it's human nature to wait until that worst case scenario comes along before we decide to take action.
That's right, Jade. Yeah, we're getting a good feel of the sights and sounds and smells. I smell the fried catfish kind of wafted through the air right now. Talking with somebody who's been coming here a long time. His name is Jimmy Turner. Jimmy, you're in charge of the snow cones here behind us. Jimmy, what's your favorite part about the festival?
I like the music and the people, yeah, just listening to the music every night. They have good bands up here.
Last two questions for you. Favorite snow cone flavor and how you take your catfish?
My favorite is probably a mixture of strawberry and banana, half and half.
Okay. Yeah, because the smell is it's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. I really hope you enjoy your time here, and come get the snow cones. It's the best way to stay cool when it's this hot out.
They've got a full freezer full of hailstones up to 2 inches here and a hail cannon that they shoot at shingles to figure out exactly how much damage they can do.
3, 2, 1.
Their main goal is to find new ways to construct homes and businesses that help mitigate costs from damages brought by severe hailstorms.
And so it's very important as you start to get tired of dealing with replacing your roof from hail damage to look for better performing building products that can actually remove some of that frustration of having to replace your roof every 3 or 4 years.
Meteorologist Griffin Hardy is live and local right now with more on how exactly the rain does play a role in our pollen counts. Hi, Griffin.
With those rain chances that are going to be on the way in the short term over the next few days, it gives us at least some hope for everybody with allergies that there will be some relief in sight. But unfortunately, that connection between the rain and lower pollen counts isn't always as cut and dry as you may think. Get us in the Halloween spirit. I'm here at a pretty infamous place here in the upstate. It's the Poinsett Bridge. This is up in northern Greenville County. It is said to be haunted by multiple ghosts. So honeybees definitely make a really big difference, including right here in the upstate.
Tell me that despite us having a favorable climate for beekeeping, there are still threats beekeepers have to face.
While beekeepers are essentially agricultural producers, they're working with essentially a wild animal.
Meteorologist Griffin Hardy is joining us live in Greenville this afternoon to explain this. Griffin, this is really fascinating.
They had to do it just without nearly as many resources as we have today, 80 years later in the weather world.
Group Captain James Stagg was chosen as the lead meteorologist of the Supreme Headquarters of the Allied Expeditionary Forces in 1943. It was in this spot, just beyond those trees over there, where the Abbeville County F4 tornado initially formed. Sadly, 7 people were killed, 5 of them in a roadside motel outside of Calhoun Falls. It is the deadliest tornado in the upstate ever recorded.
He got in front of my house and made the turn. He said he seen my house explode. He said it looked just like somebody put a stick of dynamite in it.
Everything that you see behind me was underwater just yesterday from all that rain that they saw. 4 to 4.5 inches is what they saw. All the farm equipment and all the hay that you see over here, this was all underwater. This past January was the wettest January on record here in Greenville. And here in Cleveland Park, there's evidence of it. All of that sediment that you see over there, that's erosion from all that. And the city of Greenville is looking for new ways of containing it.
The symbol of Greenville, and places like Cleveland Park and Falls Park and Unity Park and places like that have just become, such a big part of people's everyday lives in Greenville.
Reporting in Greenville, meteorologist Griffin Hardy, WYFF News 4.